Hello there, lovely viewers. It is fantastic to have you here joining us at Big Bad Online. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela Lemus Mogrovejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be the panel moderator with great and high levels of honor to be the moderator for this fantastic panel that we're going to have here, which is going to be on the birth of the Dicey Amazons. The Dicey Amazons are a cohort of all women of color and non-binary people of color that work to increase the visibility of marginalized people in gaming and other nerdy pursuits through RPG, video, and board game, and nerdy talk show stream. Welcome for being here, and we are excited to have you learn more about the members and how Dicey Amazons kind of came to life when really there wasn't that much representation in the content creator industry. And so, of the Dicey Amazons, we are blessed in this fantastic time zone to have around Candy Williams and Christy Maracio join us. So, you have heard me talking longer than really is necessary. So, let's jump right into it by letting Candy and Christy take over, in particular, Candy, to just give us a rundown of really what are we talking about when we say the Dicey Amazons.
Hi, I am Candy. I'm the executive producer, creative director of Dicey Amazons Entertainment. And like Angela said, we stream. We stream TTRPGs. That's what we basically cut our teeth on, and then added some awesome nerdy entertainment with video games, talk shows, board games, and just really have a lot of fun while streaming and interacting with our community.
Hi, I'm Christy, she, her pronouns, and I am one of the RPG players. I have been known to play Mama Vakri, who is a bard that has her magic with cooking. I also play Itza as a part of our modern mythics because she's really awesome and moody, and just me as a teenager is what it is. I also am the co-host, or not the co-host, but the host of Dicey Science. Passion and education. But yeah, so basically, Candy and I have been friends for, holy cow, a really long time, 20 years, I think now. So she's the godmother of my kids. And so she's like, hey, you want to play D&D? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's play D&D. And we started this family game night where she was DMing. And I think our first game, it was 14 people around the table. Nobody had played D&D before except like my husband and his sister. And that was a really, really, really long game.
Oh boy. Yes. Yeah. As someone who has run for 6 people before, and I did that for 2.5 years, no. How? I'm going to pass it over to Candy after that. How? Let's just answer that question. If we're going to launch into those questions, let's start with that one. How do you do it?
So I have a problem saying no when people want to join my games. Not as much as I did, but yeah, big family game night. And because a lot of people were like new to TTRPGs, it was a really long night. But really the numbers dwindled after that. Until we ended up with our core group of about, depending on availabilities and whatnot, about 7 to 8 people. Was still a pretty large core group, and we got together to play for, what's it, like 2 years?
Yeah, about 2.5 years.
Yeah. So so that started so I actually started getting into this, kind of weird, but I ended up getting into like the slam poetry scene here in San Antonio. And there were I started meeting people, and a couple of the people were like they played TTRPGs, they haven't played in a while and they wanted to play. And then there was a few people that were like, yeah, I've never played. And I really want to play. This is something that, my father was like, oh, that's the devil. And so, no, well, you're never going to play. And so she's like, yeah, I want to play. And so I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Let me get together a game with like women and non-binary people. That I kind of want that
Demographic.
good. Yeah, he's sort of that, yeah, that demographic, but I kind of wanted that feeling of just, women and non-binary people in a game, right? Because in my past, I've had issues with, going into game shops, and because I've been playing for, oh my goodness, I've been playing for over 20 years. And so I've gone into a lot of game shops where I was not, welcome. And so I'm like, okay, I want this table to be fully welcome and fully comfortable to everybody that's there. And so I started this little group and we would play. I was living with Christy and her family at the time. And so we were playing at home and her husband would like, awesome host, he would come in and bring us snacks and drinks and just kind of be around as we were playing and listening. And he's like, you guys are hilarious. You should really think about streaming. And I had been thinking about it. I had not brought it up to anybody yet, though, not even Christy. I was like, this is kind of interesting. I've been watching like some shows on Twitch. And I'm like, I'm looking at kind of what's out there, and I'm like, man, most of these shows are like either all white or all men, or just like I can't always relate, right? And so I'm like, we have this full group here. Everybody's a person of color. We've got all women, we've got all non-binary people. Like, this is something that we need, right? And I wanted to be able to. I wanted to kind of be the representation that other people needed to jump into the industry as well, the content creation industry for TTRPGs. And so we started 2018. This was like November of 2018 is when we started talking about all of this. And I asked the group, I said, hey, what, do you want to do this? And everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Unfortunately, we did lose a couple of people kind of after the decision to availabilities. But at that time, we still ended up with 5 people. So a really good round number at that point. So I'm like, yes, let's stay here. Everything works out, right? And so we found a place, which is where I am now, to kind of build our own studio, because we were all in the same city and we're like, yeah, let's go. And so we actually built a studio. We built, if you're in theater, you probably know what these are, but like theater flats, like these big flat walls that we could decorate and put stuff up on and not actually like do anything to the walls that, that are here. And we're like, we're going to build our own table. Because when you get 6 people at a table, 6 total people at a table, you need a larger table. And we were doing maps at the time and stuff like that. And all the large tables that we were finding were really expensive. So we actually went to Home Depot and purchased all the supplies we needed and spent several days in the backyard building theater flats and our table for the studio.
Staining, thinking we're going to put like mini dice with acrylic. And we're like, that's a lot of acrylic because it's a huge table. And they're like, okay, never mind. But I have like lots of tiny mini dice now because they're cute.
Yeah, we had all these ideas for stuff. We're like, that table's going to be really, really heavy if we decide we want to do like several layers of acrylic with a bunch of dice on it.
Thank God, because it was heavy as it is.
Yeah, as heavy as it is.
I don't even know how we're going to move it if we ever have to move it. Holy cow.
Oh, we'll take it apart. We're good.
Truly embodying the in theory versus in practice problem of, we're going to have all this stuff. It has so many purposes. And then realizing, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
I am kind of curious. I suppose Christy could speak to this particular thing. I guess both of you could kind of talk about it. Christy, maybe starting from like the player angle. How did you all end up talking about like money in relation to the stream channel? Like, what was that like in terms of agreements for everyone, or whatever stream revenue was coming in? How did you all sit down to talk about that, or what was the experience and process like for all of you?
Well, when we decided to, have a go at it, we realized that, we kind of have to do an LLC. And so we created a business where, of course, um, and that was sort of all run through Candy. And so Candy was in charge of creating, the paperwork, the accounts, the PO box, all that stuff. And so, so she's sort of the CEO of Dicey Amazons. She also was in charge of, she put in most of the money starting off. We were able to, put in a little bit of money, but she took the lion's share of it. So that's reflected in the documents as far as like, money goes. If any money comes in, most of it goes to her. And then, every once in a while I get a little bit, and it's all right. It's never been about money for us more than it has been about making sure that we're getting out and we are representing, like we're showing women and non-binary people of color out there playing and creating games and just having fun and really making sure that we're showing that anybody can do this and enjoy it.
Yeah. So yeah, we did have a conversation about like how we wanted to do it. And like Christy talked about most of it. But one of the things that we did all decide on was that everything that we would get would just go back into Dicey Amazons. And that's what we've done. And so like everything just goes back into that account, and then that's what we use to like pay for artists for things and things like that. And so and then we did say, like, if we get to a point where, we're making a lot of money, and then we will revisit and then kind of talk about, who gets what and things like that. And, everybody was very comfortable with everything going back to Dicey Amazons.
So everyone was sort of working well with the idea that this was going to be a project that we were all going to try as best as possible to sustain, not necessarily looking for like individual profit out of it, but more trying to sustain the whole project itself, the whole org and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. So,
Sorry.
what? Because you the core of it and the foundation of it, of the particular group that you're trying to work with, is focusing on like women and non-binary people of color. I'm curious because I'm someone who tends to write and focus on a lot of things with world building and things of that sort. What do you feel? This is a question for both of you. What do you feel is the distinct difference in creating, whether it's player GM report or creating worlds or new kind of adventures or even just one shots and such to run for each other together, or looking into having other people being involved on the channel? Like, what do you feel like that difference is compared to other not those spaces, if we just want to call it that? We have no other word for it.
I think that it's sort of a safe haven, right, for people that have been marginalized, right? And that's what we wanted for our group, like just us as the GM and the players, but as for the community as well. Everybody, of course, is invited, as long as they're respectful and things like that, as far as the community, and even on the channel. But you need to make sure that you are giving that extra not attention, what is the word I'm looking for? But you need to make sure consideration. Thank you. You need to make sure you're giving that extra consideration to the women and the non-binary people, and the people of color on the channel.
Yeah, I think as a player, it's really being allowed to sort of give voice to the culture that you grew up in, and the stories you passed down from generations of, and sort of like bringing that on screen and as a part of your character, and not feeling like you're going to be looked at as some sort of stereotype or some sort of watered down version of those stories. I think that was the biggest thing. It's just, I don't always want to be typecasted, but I want to be able to bring my flavor. You know what I mean?
You don't want to have to be everything for or the stand-in for everything of everyone. It's that
Yeah.
kind of pigeonholing effect that a lot of like spaces that aren't centered on that foundation have, where it's that sense of like if one of us messes up, all of us mess up because we understand the weight of what we carry. But in this space, it's like, wait, I could be a total disaster and a mess. And there's only one of me here out of like 70. So I can be the mess. I could be the screw up. Because not everyone wants to have to be the
Yeah.
hero.
There's a lot of comfort. But a space where that, judge, you're not going to be pigeonholed. You are going to be able to share your story and share your journey. And really, I think before that, when I played or I attempted to play other places, it's like, oh, there's that girl playing. And if it wasn't that girl, it's like, yeah, it just, there's a lot of gatekeeping in the TTRPG community in the like wider, in the wider column, in the wider sense. Like if I went into a game shop or whatever, I didn't always feel comfortable there, because it was predominantly not us. So yeah, so I didn't always feel comfortable walking in there, and that was one of the reasons why I never. Hey, if we're home, I'll do it. Sure, why not? I was like, you want to invite more people? Cool. Yeah, we'll make dinner. It's fine. I'll make the meal.
So I suppose Candy. So do you in terms of like coming at it from the more production end or like the CEO end, as you have been designated for the group,
I've
do you
been
feel that
designated a
same
lot of
sense?
things for this group.
Where it's the equivalent of like European royalty, where it's like Candy Williams, CEO, head Amazon, massive guard
Slash
pro.
Sith Lord is a big one that they call me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't let her use the red dice. That's fine.
The red dice is a sign of terrible things.
As the GM, I tend to roll better than the group.
It's the red D20 that's metal. It needs to be lost. Is what needs to happen.
But yes, back to your question. Yes. Yeah. Like even from the production side and as a CDO, absolutely feels the same. Oh, goodness.
No. This happens when we're talking about the whiter aspects of our community. Pardon, wider. So the sounds are similar at times. It happens every now and then. But does it feel easier to? Let me back that up. Does it feel in terms of like production and whether it's input from players for thinking about new ideas you want to put forward on the channel, or from the conception end, or just thinking about like who might be involved or the talent you want to, let's say, train to be involved in production, for example? Does it feel like there's much more of a there's much more investment from people because of this foundation that you've established with one another from the get-go?
Yes, I do actually. We have an amazing community. And so this year we finally been able to kind of get other people involved on things on the show, and we're going to be doing more of that as well throughout the year. And so I do find that it's easier because of the space that we provide, and the comfort, and we bring the culture and everything. I think it is easier for us for that.
Yeah, I think especially from the core Amazons, we all dabble in, like, I'm a teacher. I don't know. I didn't know about Twitch prior to us streaming on Twitch. I didn't know what it was. I learned how to use is it Streamlabs before? No, it's OBS, I think is what I use. I haven't picked up the new one. We're on a new platform. Who knows? It's been a bit. But I wasn't familiar with how to do all that stuff, right? So they said, we want you to do this. And I was like, sure. Okay. We want you to talk about this. Yeah, I think I can do that. And then don't forget, you got to learn how to do this with the layouts and the thing. And don't forget, you have to do the slideshow, and this is how you put it in. Okay. Yeah, I can try that. Yeah, I'm not a tech person, but I make it work every once in a while. So yeah, but yeah, you what you see is because it's grown from the roots. Like there's a lot of like we take ownership of our company, and making sure that we're going out there and we're representing our passions, and we're making it accessible for people, and that's a lot of fun. It really is.
My mind is buzzing with a lot of different questions. So it's one of those like, how do I narrow this down to the one specific thing that I want to ask? Okay. I know that the Twitch chat is probably buzzing also with questions that I'm sure will be passed along our way to consider as well. But okay, if I may ask, in terms of what you would like to imagine for the future of this place, or what do you feel? How about let's make it a two-part question to give us some space. Let you chew on something nice and juicy. So let's start with one. What do you see around you in the space and the time since you started, since Dicey Amazon started, versus what you see now, and then where would you like to see things in, let's say, the next few years? So if we're able to imagine, let's say 3 or 4 years down the line, let's say around the same amount of time that y'all have been around, what's changed since when you started, and what would you like to see keep changing in that same amount of time as you go forward?
So since we started, like when we started, like really there were two groups that were out that were people of color that I found. One of them fairly easy, one of them not as easy. And then after that, there really wasn't a lot. And so there was Rivals of Waterdeep when we started. And then I'm trying to think of the name of the other one right now. And I can think of some of the people that's on it, but I can't think of the name of the actual show right now. If it comes to me, I'll bring it up. But and so at that time, that was it. Now, and I didn't know a lot of people in the TTRPG in like socials, Twitter, everything. I didn't know a lot of people. None of us did. And so now I know a lot more people. There are so many more shows out that have people of color and just like marginalized people, and I love it. And it's so great to see. And I don't know if we've directly are, like if anybody has seen us and like, okay, want to do the same thing. If they have, that's amazing. If not, that's cool too. But now this is what I wish I would have seen in 2018. Right? Like everything that's out there right now, it's so easy to find shows with people of color, and it is great. For me, for the future of the Amazons, I just want to keep creating, come up with new ideas, and have the time to actually get them out there, because they get more people involved and host more things with other people, and just have fun. So we're not in it for the money. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Do you have a nice nap,
Hi. Y'all have to understand that I'm usually dead asleep by 9 o'clock. It is so far past my bedtime, and I was up too. I was up and ready. And then
Yes.
I looked at my phone and saw Candy saying, "You ready?" And I was like, "Oh, it is. What happened?"
Well, Pi, we're already at the end, and we're already saying goodbye. No, not actually. We still have time. No. I'm not gonna.
I honestly, like, I would just be like, "Yep, that's how today's gonna go for me."
No. No. You good. You're good. You're good.
Uh,
We were just in the middle of another question, which you came in at a really delightful moment. Before we get into if Candy is done giving us
yeah,
a
yeah.
response of what you'd like to see, keep Christy, we'll get to yours, but I want to give Pi to just introduce yourself. Who are you and pronouns and such.
Sure. I'm Pi. I use they, them pronouns, and I am a sleeper and a person that is now a grandparent, apparently, because staying up till 11 p.m. my time is like impossible, apparently. Yeah, I am the head producer at Dicey Amazons. Um, I professionally talk trash on the internet for fun, and uh, this will be one of those moments that we talk about.
For
Oh
a
yes,
while.
for a
Yeah.
long time.
Just
It's
some,
on video too, so
It
Yeah,
is.
I know that
It
that's the part that like I can't hide. Like it's not
it,
like sneaking into the back of a meeting, you know?
if anyone from the Amazon's Discord or channel is in the chat right now and has caught this moment, and is an artist, start work on a sleeping pie emote.
Yeah.
Hey, I get to talk extra shit. I'm so excited too because I am chronically late.
Hmm.
Chronically. I am always the last one in the prep on the stream. I am like running to get to the chair and get on the camera on time, and I beat Pie this
Yeah,
time. By a lot.
by a lot. I am always on time.
Mhm.
The one time. The one time.
What-
The
Everyone
one
has no idea. The one time.
And it's on video.
We got it.
So,
And
Pi, to bring you up to speed with the question we just asked, we let Candy and Christy talk for a bit, back and forth on some different questions about like how Dicey Amazon started. But the question I just asked that I thought would be interesting to think about was, from what Candy has told all of us and the delightful viewers tuning in to this, of which there should be even more, bring more people, everyone watching, uh, that y'all started in 2018, and I wanted to pose the question to everyone of what how have things changed, whether streaming side or even production end, especially since that I
Oh,
think is an element that we really don't talk about
oh,
enough.
we didn't
In
talk about that.
production elements have changed from like 2018 to now, and
mhm.
in terms of the future of the Dicey Amazons, what would you like to see if we got to imagine the same amount of time going forward? You last another 4 years. What would you like to see come out of that? So I don't know between Pi or Christy if you'd like to take up on that one. Candy's given her.
Actually,
Oh,
real quick.
okay, okay, okay.
I need to tell you about our production when we first started. So I am the GM, but I am also the producer for the TTRPG shows. And we were running our first several streams off of a 7-year-old MacBook with multiple mics and multiple cameras on a 7-year-old MacBook. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was very rough.
I think they're still hanging up there, aren't they? They're like
No.
maybe-
I've
no, you
taken those
pulled them
down.
down. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
part's
like,
taken
yeah.
down.
PVC pipe for the win, y'all. PVC
Yeah.
pipe for the win.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I nearly biffed it a few times just walking to my chair. It was awesome.
I'm more impressed by the look I saw Pi give in response to like the possibility that they're still hanging up there. Pi just looked like, I was like, what the hell you mean? Why?
Yeah.
Why have you done this?
It's years later of
Yeah.
like this like I to be kind to us naive solution that we had came up with for like hanging mics and to make sure that we had like everything that we needed like in its proper place. It was a naive solution and it was like
But
it
works.
did its purpose. It had held the mic in its place, Angela. But to answer the question that you posed, I think that um, along with like some alarm clocks for myself, I don't know. I now that we're like all spread apart, um, I think that like the production is like as good as it's gonna get for a while. I think the only thing that we can really do is like maybe like get better like personal cameras, stuff like that. Um, and so yeah, like the production, I don't think is gonna take a really big jump uh until I don't know, like everyone in Dicey Amazons has like a multi-camera setup, and like that's not feasible like the amount of energy that I think that Christy or Katie want to put into their home setup. And so that level of production would be like that would be ideal, like for everyone to have their own like mini studio in their office, living room, wherever their computer is. But that's 100% me just wanting everyone to have all of the tech and all of the really nice shiny toys. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm still debating whether or not I should invest in a real cam. Always cut it. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Could you repeat that again?
Poor teacher. I said I'm still debating whether or not I should invest in a real mic rather than just using the webcam because it's silly. But I'm a teacher. So.
Pi and I are both giving you the nod. I think that's a sign. You should probably listen to one of us. And you haven't met me before, so you can't just tune me out easily.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I told you, not a tech. Like,
no, I'm also not a tech. There is also a reason why this mic has suspiciously increased in quality 3 times over the past 3 years I've been involved with this. It's because of someone like Pi just being like, I love you, but my version of Pi is someone by the name of Bursto. For anyone who knows who that is,
yes.
I'm sorry for dragging you, Bursto, but also. But
also, Burst, I know I know your pain of like trying to produce with people who have crappy tech.
Yeah. We're slowly but surely upgrading stuff for people. Like Dicey Amazons has bought computers for each of us. Well, not each of us, but a bunch of us. We've gotten some mics for people that are actively streaming right now. Like people, when they come back to streaming their shows, we'll be upgrading stuff. So we'll, slowly but surely.
See, that's what I get for not doing Dicey Science for a while.
I wasn't allowed to get the upgrade. I had to be there for the meetings more. This is what happens for being late to the meetings. You don't get the upgrade. We mark you after 5 times you're late. You don't get the upgrade. That's how it works.
It's one of those times you're making decisions, Christy, and now you missed it. Yeah.
All right. I'll change my alarm from 10:25 to 10:15. I think that'll get me there in time.
That'll probably work.
Every streamer who's ever had to do 30-minute call time beforehand is just looking at you like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? When do you go on? Oh, we go on at 10:30. Why are you like this?
Yeah, we go on at 10:30. Sorry. You don't understand. No, y'all do. You totally do. I love my sleep. I really, really do. Which is why 1 a.m. is like, it's like, you sure there's no other time? They're like 7 a.m. No, 1 a.m.'s fine. 1 a.m.'s good.
You either stay up or you got to wake up.
I'll stay up.
There's no win condition here. There's simply less loss.
I would have
done it.
At 5.
No.
But I am kind of curious. Oh no! I was just gonna say I'm kind of curious for Pi. A question directed to you. What do you feel like is an element that a lot of folks don't really know about? Like especially like coming at this from like the group centers women of color, non-binary folk of color, and such. Like, what do you feel like a lot of folk who are interested or do want to get involved with this? What do you think would be like some advice you would want to give to them coming in from the more tech or production end? Or what are some things that would make your life easier for folks who are eager to do the stuff but are like, I don't know what you actually need to help you? What makes your life easier is what I'm saying. What on the production end? And that's not a slight at players, because folks just coming in might just know games and they don't know what tech or any of this involves. Like as Chrissy said, like not all of us are tech people. So what would you feel like would be the kinds of things that folks should know about or would be helpful for people to either read about or tech to consider getting or talking to folks about?
Gotcha. Um, I am going to apologize for this soapbox that I'm going to get on, because I have thoughts. I have thoughts on this. So I think that like the first like three important things that I think that people need to realize they need to get is one, they need a I'm sorry, but your 10-year-old laptop is not going to cut it. You need a up-to-date computer.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't get a new computer to update me, man.
Well,
I'm just saying. I didn't get one.
Bought you a computer, Christy.
I know, but it's not upgraded. It's only 8 gigs of RAM, man.
You need me, friend.
I'm only complaining now, but it's okay.
Pyre's response is, I need a new panel to be on. I'm being attacked unfairly and targeted. Okay. Getting back to the question. So you have so first thing, a decent working computer, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So what else?
Yeah. I would say like this is maybe a two-parter. Say hello to your friend the Ethernet cable and plug that sumbitch into your computer, because your Wi-Fi 3 rooms away is not going to be strong enough to hold and send the you're not going to have the bandwidth to be able to send your data over the internet in a way that's going to make sense. So it doesn't help if your computer is not running up to speed to be able to process your beautiful face and your voice and whatnot. And then if your internet is crappy and or you are using Wi-Fi that's in the Wi-Fi boxes, like, or your modem is like 2-3 rooms away, it's going through like several feet of concrete, and it's great for streaming, but when you go to turn your webcam on and everything, you find out that it's not strong enough of a signal for you to be able to talk to people. Oh crap, okay, I'm wrapping up. Those are the main 3 things that I would say you really need, and decent audio. So yeah, I'm looking directly into the windows of your soul, Christy, when I say decent audio. Because even if people, like for our purposes playing TTRPGs, even if people have a hard time seeing you, or you might be someone who doesn't want to have their cam on, if they can hear you well, that's more important.
Yeah.
And also, I would say that if you have crappy internet and you are we're like your face isn't able to like transmit over properly, turn your camera off and just use audio. Just call it quits and just turn your camera off. It'll save your computer, it'll save your bandwidth, and then we'll be able to hear your voice just fine.
All right. I just double checking. Quick time check. We're at about 10 minutes left until. So if any folks who are involved on Twitch chat want to send in some questions, we can very quickly answer. That would be good, because we want to make sure like we're keeping to our nice and tidy schedule. But Christy, I don't actually know if I properly got an answer from you as to the question, which is how were things before? How have you seen things change from the time you've been on, and how would you like to see the future of Dicey Amazons go? If you could imagine the same amount of time in the going forward 4 years.
Yeah, so I am one of those people that I sort of put myself in a box as far as my circle or my, the people that surround me. And so I don't really get out because it's, I've got my family and I've got my work and I come home and that's pretty much it. So that was the biggest thing that happened when we decided to take on the Amazons. First of all, I had these crazy people coming into my house every few weeks and eating all my food. Not that they weren't lovely. They were absolutely lovely. And I didn't, but it had been so long since I had made new friends. And so they came in and my husband being who he is the epitome of a host, as are his parents, which is why I fell in love with him. And so he just, of course, welcomed everybody and made them family, and that's been really great. And then to see it come to Twitch and to Discord, and then to meet people I now know people from Indonesia and from the Philippines that I talk to regularly, and people from Canada. And it was just amazing to see all of these people come in and embrace us and think that we're awesome and ask us questions and interact with us. And that has been just amazing to me, just the culture and the community that we've built around TTRPGs and marginalized people. I think in the future, I just would love to see more of that. I really want to see us, create content that brings in more people, that connects more people around the world, whether they're colored or whether they're non-binary or whether they're, any flavor of human out there, because we're all just kind of amazing, and I'd love to share that stuff.
Very beautiful sentiment.
Can I and that and say that I'm also very excited for a dream, like one day is to have everyone a part of the Dicey Amazons tribe to finally meet in person. We can have
real.
We've been talking about that for
and tamales.
Okay. Look, here's what's gonna happen: is we're all gonna do a tamalada, and everybody is gonna make the tamales, because if I am the only one making it, who's gonna eat them.
You have full right to eat them. You know how long that takes. You're gonna eat them. You're gonna do the work.
No,
it's not even me.
It's her husband.
Oh shit. Oh, never mind.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's Tony.
Uh-huh.
He's asleep on the couch. He really is. He really is. I swear he has a hollow leg or something. I'm like, where does it go?
See, when Pi was saying Tony, I was more under the impression that was just Pi calling out Tony and being like, Tony, you better not touch my tamales if we meet up. Don't touch it. I know what I want, and it's those.
He already touched it. That's what
happened.
Yeah. They've been gone a few
times. Yeah.
So we got one more really actually fantastic question that we're getting near the tail end of our little bit of time that we have together. But I think this is a good moment to end on a really positive note. And depending on if we have a little bit of time after that, I got another follow-up quick question that's fun as well. What is your favorite gaming moment that's been recorded, whether podcast, VOD, or show? Favorite moment?
Well, there's a few.
You get one. You get one.
Okay.
Got to pick one.
I got one because people have asked this question. Well, a question that pertains to this online on Twitter yesterday. But in our first game, is D&D game, I have this NPC called Toral. Awesome NPC. He's great. And he owned this clothing shop, and Pi's character had just got some new threads, new colorful, amazing, expensive threads, and unfortunately didn't check for traps. And this is later the day that she picked up the threads, did not check for traps, and the whole outfit basically got singed off their character within a few hours of picking it up. Mm-hmm. Pi played the reaction to that so well that it's still my favorite moment. This has been a little while ago now. This was the year before last, and it is still my favorite moment because Pi's acting, which actually might not have been acting.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was, but that's okay.
That's my favorite moment.
I still have feelings about that. Obviously.
That was the origin of DeJory's cheeks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why?
I still want the pants with the DeJoy streaks on the butt instead of the juicy couture. That's what I want. I really do. That's the merch we need.
Hmm.
Got,
That's
gotta
what you be
imagine.
spending $90 on for no reason.
Pie, your face just all I can think of is whenever Twitch streamers have on their soundboards the sad the sad like violent music. So dun, 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 dun. It's like that music is playing, like just Pie's face is, or it's the sad Batman meme from a while back. It just or the sad Ben Affleck face, just like Pie's off, just like looking at it. It's like I wanted
Mhm.
that
Hello,
outfit.
darkness, my old friend. Like the rain comes in.
No, it's not rain. It's a hail of the ash of the clothes that got singed. I've spoken too poorly. I'm out. I'm out. This is a bad call. But other than, what about you, Pi? What was a favorite gaming or podcast sword moment?
I'm not gonna lie, I had forgotten about that moment. And so now I have feelings about it all over again. I think that I don't know, it's probably a combination of dicey debates.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Dicey debates, like especially in the beginning, those were my mouth still hurts from all of the laughter from those episodes. Um, and the one that I could think of right now was like I think it was one where we were talking about Christy and Tony or something. I'm always talking trash about Christy and Tony and their love for each other. It's sweet and it makes me vomit.
Is it that pure definition of disgustingly cute?
Yes. I mean, to the point now where like Tony like brings Christy breakfast during stream and like I just watch as like the hand comes in like it does every Sunday with like snacks and breakfast and coffee and I always talk about it because I'm not jealous. You're jealous. Shut up.
To be fair, he totally delivered coffee at one point around Christmas. Like he came in with the custom orders, like knocked on the door during stream to deliver it.
For all of us.
So for
every
Yeah.
all
single
of
one
them,
of us.
when we were all in the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is who my husband is, and I love him for it.
It was a really sweet moment.
No, that's the definition of a support class. And as anyone who knows about support classes, truly, never given enough respect for how good they do. And on that note, we have about a minute left, and I just want to direct all the folks who have been tuning in. Thank you for taking the time to tune into what is a fantastic panel of amazing people who we are blessed to see inspire even more communities. Whether or not they accept that statement or not, the facts speak otherwise. Yeah, you have brought a whole bunch of good to our spaces, and for anyone who wants to continue this conversation, you can head over to the post-panel chat room on the Discord. And I'm gonna say a major thank you. And once again, as I said at the top of this, it's been an honor to be a moderator, to chat with all of you, to watch Pi come in and to create possible birth of a new emote. I want credit for that if it happens. But in reality, no, thank you for joining us, Pi, even if it was a bit late. It's been an absolute blessing to get to talk with all of you. And thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, viewers. And we'll see you in the post-panel chat. And hopefully, maybe more Big Bad Cons or other cons. Bring these people in for more things, because why wouldn't you? That's the question you gotta ask yourselves, everyone. Thank you for your time. Yeah, we're amazing. We're all amazing. I'm including myself now. I'm in this too. You can't
Yes,
bring them without me.
absolutely.
That's how that works.
We're actually hosting a show that Angela is on our channel on Saturdays, and we'll be
Yeah,
on
come
tomorrow.
to the show.
So,
I'll
yeah.
show you how I can be not this person. But on that note, thank you everyone, and we're gonna let our producer take us out. And thank you everyone, and take care. Have a lovely time at the con.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.